A narcissistic mother often takes the father away from the children. She slanders him, turns him into an enemy, erases him from their history and says, "I raised you all by myself." She pulls the child into her game, making them her defender and ally against the father. But that's not all. She can also divide siblings, whispering into one's ear while criticizing and accusing the other. She breeds distrust and rivalry so that the children are never united. In this way, she destroys family bonds and leaves the children with a sense of emptiness and confusion.
There is hardly a worse monster than the narcissistic mother. That creature who exploits the natural, unconditional love of a child for their mother, the trust a child places in their parent. There is no more innocent love than the love of a child for its life-giver, the love to a mother. And she weaponizes that love, twisting it into her own games of manipulation, into battles for control at home, or into wars with her partner. She turned that love to create a servant. She uses that love to create a servant. Not a child, not a person, but a servant. A servant with a destroyed personality, a broken mind, and emotions twisted beyond recognition. A servant trained to ignore their own needs, to silence their own voice, to carry the weight of her emptiness, all just to feed her fragile ego, to soothe her endless hunger for control, admiration, and power. In her world, your pain is irrelevant, your dreams disposable, your very identity something to be molded, erased, and rewritten according to her script. And the cruelest part? She convinces you this is love. Narcissistic mothers are beings without the slightest moral backbone. For them, you are nothing but a tool, an object meant to serve their needs, admire them, and feel the emptiness they carry inside. Your emotions, irrelevant. Your needs, ignored. Your identity, crushed, reshaped to fit her script. Such a mother destroys your sense of self-worth, make you doubt yourself, doubt everything. She will tear you down to the very end, because she believes that in this way she will maintain power over you. And for a narcissist, power is everything. There are no darker creatures in this world than narcissistic mothers.
2 manipulations of a narcissistic mother you need to notice. They're insidious, they're corrosive, and they destroy families from the inside out. First, guilt tripping. Every step you take towards freedom, she twists into betrayal, selfishness, or proof that you don't love her. Her tears aren't for sorrow, they're weapons. A performance designed to keep you trapped in a cage of obligation. Second, dividing the family. She fuels jealousy, rivalry, and favoritism. She whispers secrets, tells one child how the other really feels, planting seeds of doubt and resentment. Siblings fight each other, consumed by their own battles, instead of seeing who's really pulling the strings. She thrives on chaos. This isn't care, it's control disguised as love. Recognize these tactics, because only then can you break free.
A narcissistic mother is incapable of forming healthy relationships with her children. Her actions stem not from love or care, but from an egoistic need to feed her own fragile ego. Instead of nurturing and protecting, she manipulates and exploits her children, leading to the destruction of their self-worth, happiness, and mental health. In her relationship with a daughter, a narcissistic mother sees a threat, not a child. She often competes with her, destroying her self-confidence out of pure envy. A true mother supports her daughter, but a narcissist cares only about feeling superior, even at the cost of her own child's emotional devastation. Sons are exploited differently. A narcissistic mother treats them as emotional partners. She manipulates them, instills guilt, and smothers them with a love that is, in reality, a form of control. She does this to ensure they never escape her toxic grip, as she fears loneliness. Ultimately, a narcissistic mother often ends up alone. The children who were victims of her manipulation and cruelty for years eventually cut ties with her. In old age, they are left without support, visits, or phone calls. Their lives end as they were lived, feeling unhappy, unloved, and utterly insignificant.
Parental alienation is not a single blow, but a slow torture stretched out over time. It all begins with vile jealousy. The narcissistic mother cannot bear the sight of closeness between the child and the father. Using her advantage of being physically closer to the child, she whispers poisonous lies into the young one's ear, saying that the father hurts them, that he is a monster. Then, she plays the victim in public, winning over family and friends who mindlessly take her side. The child, manipulated and blinded, becomes the mother's knight and the father's enemy, cutting him off emotionally, rejecting him. The strike hits the father straight in the heart. Alone and powerless, he sinks into a dark, paralyzing depression. He may escape into addictions, into self-destruction, and in the worst cases, give up and lose his life. Years later, the lies begin to crack. The now-grown child, like a detective, uncovers the truth, but the mother will stop at nothing. When the questions become uncomfortable, she turns on her own child because it reminds her of the dirty truth. In the end, the child who survives breaks free from this prison. They leave the narcissistic family and begin writing their story anew. They succeed, while the liars, consumed by their own manipulations, finally receive what they deserve. This is not a fairy tale. It is the story of many of us who were manipulated by our own mothers, pushed away from loving fathers, and sometimes lost them forever.